This is CPM Precalculus Chapter 2, number 134. So in this question, we're asked to write each rational expression as a single simplified fraction. Alright, so in part A, we're given one expression multiplied by another expression. Okay, so what we can do, we don't need to do anything but multiply the numerators and denominators. So this is equal to 3 times 5 over x plus 3 times x minus 5, right? Because for multiplication, we don't need any common denominator or anything. So 3 times 5 is 15. X plus 3 times x minus 5, we could use a box method of distribution. X times x is x squared, x times 3 is 3x, negative 5x, negative 15. So we combine those and it's x squared. The like terms, negative 5x and 3x, make negative 2x minus 15. Okay, so that's our single simplified fraction right there. Alright, let's go on to part B. Part B, here we're going to subtract one rational expression from another. So in this case, we need a common denominator. Anytime we add or subtract, we need a common denominator. So what we want to do is multiply this one by y over y, the first one by y over y, and the second one by x over x. So that's not going to change the values because x over x is 1 and y over y is 1. And that's going to give us a common denominator of x times y, right? In the numerator, we have y times x plus y minus x times x minus y, right? And I put them all over x times y now. So let's go ahead and simplify that. Distribute the y in the numerator, so that's xy plus y squared, minus, distribute the x, minus x squared, minus, so let's go ahead and make this a plus negative. So when you multiply negative x, you get minus x squared. Negative x times negative y is positive xy over xy. Combine like terms in the numerator. These are the two like terms. So we have y squared plus 2xy minus x squared over xy. Alright, so there is our single simplified fraction. So finally, in part C, we have one rational expression minus another. One rational expression minus another times another rational expression. So let's go ahead and simplify this one first. So let's multiply this term by x over x and this one by y over y. So we get a common denominator here of xy, with x squared minus y squared in the numerator. Okay, now that we have a common denominator, we can add these in the numerator together. And now we can go ahead and multiply across, right? So this is just equal to x squared minus y squared times x squared y squared over xy times x squared y minus x y squared. Alright, and the rest we just want to do is simplify this. Because before we multiply and distribute this, right, we can see that we're multiplying all these terms. The numerator has x squared and the denominator has x. So I could cancel x here with one of the x's here. So now we're just left with x. I can cancel the y here with one of the y's here, right? And so that's equal to x squared minus y squared times xy over x squared y minus x y squared. Okay? Now what I want to do is simplify this, okay? Because what can I go ahead and factor out in the denominator? Well, both of these have an x and a y, right? So I could factor out an x, y, and I'm left with just x here then, minus, these both have an x, y, I'm left with a y, right? I'm factoring out the x, y, And why am I doing that? Because if you look here, I have an xy in the numerator, right? So now these are going to cancel out. Okay, so now I'm left with x squared minus y squared over x minus y, right? Finally, I can factor the numerator here because that's just the difference of two squares, right? That's equal to x plus y times x minus y. And in the denominator, I still have x minus y, right? Well, this term I can cancel out with this one, and I'm left with just x plus y. So the simplified fraction isn't even a fraction, it's just x plus y for part C. Alright? So that ends CPM Precalculus Chapter 2, number 134.